It will be a season of new faces in PSAC men's basketball, as 9 of the top 10 scorers in the league last season have departed, and only 5 of the 12 players named to the postseason all-conference teams last year return. Judging by the preseason polls, the league is wide open as a combined 7 teams have received first-place votes in their division in the preseason polls. Let's now take a look at those preseason polls, starting with the PSAC West. Lock Haven welcomes a new head coach in former SHIPPENSBURG assistant Mike Nestor, who will be working with an almost entirely new squad from the one that took the floor last year for the Bald Eagles. Edinboro will be looking to bounce back after 2 straight seasons with a losing record, which is the first time that has happened in head coach Greg Walkovich's 22 previous seasons as the head coach of the Fighting Scots. CLARION will have the services of the PSAC's leading rebounder from last year in senior Bud Tier, who was one of only 3 players and the only one returning this season to average a double-double last year. Slippery Rock is coming off its first NCAA tournament appearance in 20 years and its first PSAC championship game appearance in 10 years, and with 3 starters back, hopes to return to the postseason once again. MERCYHURST has the leading returning scorer in the league in Luis Leao, and along with 2 other returning starters, he will look to lead the Lakers to their 3rd straight appearance in the PSAC tournament. Last year's PSAC West Freshman of the Year, Stephen Battle, returns to Gannon, which will add 11 players to its roster that did not play for the Golden Knights last season, as they look to return to the PSAC tournament after missing it last year. California returned to the PSAC tournament last season after a 2-year absence, and the Vulcans are looking to do even more this season. Leading the way is returning All-PSAC West second-teamer Steve Sweich, who led the Vulcans in scoring a year ago. The favorite in the PSAC West is 2-time defending divisional and tournament champion IUP. The Crimson Hawks will be looking for the first three-peat in the PSAC since CHEYNEY won 3 straight from 1978 to 1980. IUP will be led by seniors Ashton Smith, Julian Sanders, and Scooter Rankin, who are the only 3 remaining members of the national runner-up team from 2 years ago that saw significant playing time on that team. Now let's take a look at the PSAC-EAST, where SHIPPENSBURG returns 4 starters, 3 of which are seniors, as the Red Raiders look to bounce back from a subpar season. Millersville will have to contend with the loss of 3 of its top 5 scorers from last year, as the Marauders look to get back to the postseason for the first time since 2008. CHEYNEY will be breaking in an entirely new starting lineup, and as the Wolves lost their entire starting 5 from last year, including the PSAC's leading scorer and academic All-American Sharif Bray. Just down the road from CHEYNEY in Westchester, the Golden Rams will return their 2 top scorers in Lance McDowell and Khalif Foster, who each averaged double figures a year ago. Mansfield, which has won at least a share of the PSAC East title the last 2 seasons, has 2 starters returning, but the Mounties lost their top 3 scorers from last year. BLOOMSBURG returns 4 starters as the Huskies look for their first PSAC tournament appearance since 2002, after falling just 1 game short of the postseason last year. STROUDSBURG returns 4 players that averaged at least 8 points per game last year as the Warriors look for their 3rd consecutive appearance in the PSAC tournament semifinals. Leading the way will be All-PSAC second-team member Dwayne Johnson and former PSAC East Freshman of the Year Terrence King. KUTZTOWN, which has made the PSAC tournament for the last 9 straight seasons, the longest current streak in the PSAC, is the favorite in the PSAC East. Seniors Nate Edwards, an all-conference team member last year, and Eric Brennan will lead the way after both averaged double figures in 2010-11. Recapping the polls, starting in the PSAC West, where IUP is the favorite to win its 3rd straight divisional title, followed by California and Gannon, who each received a first-place vote. 2011 PSAC tournament teams MERCYHURST and Slippery Rock are next, followed by CLARION, Edinboro, and Lock Haven. In the PSAC East, half of the teams received at least 1 first-place vote, as not a single team appears to be an overwhelming favorite. Kutztown and East Stroudsburg are at the top of the poll, while Bloomsburg is in third, followed by Mansfield and Westchester, which each received a single first-place vote. Cheyney, Millersville, and Shippensburg round out the poll. Now glancing at the preseason all-conference teams, Bloomsburg takes up half of the East team, as the Huskies will have one of their most experienced squads in recent memory. 4 of the 6 members were postseason all-conference picks last year, while Dante Jordan of Bloomsburg was the only non-senior on the East first team. On the West team, 5 schools are represented, with IUP the only school having more than 1 selection. 4 of the 6 honorees on this team were also named to the postseason all-conference team last year.